This is for my friends and family because I honestly do not have time to keep everyone up to date 24/7. And I think through this video blog, it's a really nice way of showing my friends and family how I'm living here and how I feel, how I think, and what I see and what I experience. And I think it's also a very nice way to, like in the end, if I can look back at all the videos, you can also see a process and progress of how I'm starting to understand the way of living here and how the way of living here is actually, because in your memories you forget a lot of things. So I just had my first lecture, International Relations Theory. Well, I've learned that democracy is a bad thing. We have a Eurocentric view on everything. I don't know. It was very, very basic, and the lecturer referred to some scholars. And well, I followed international relations last year, and I never heard of them. And she also didn't explain who they exactly were, and it was totally not in depth. I'm not going to follow this course. So where are we going now?
I have no idea.
International dinner.
Thank you.
Welcome. Did you make any food?
Nope.
Me neither.
Give me 5.
High five. Fuck yeah. Did you like the dinner?
I like you.
I like me too. And now some nice live music from, I don't know who this guy is. Chilling at the Japanese table where all the Japanese food was, because I knew some people and I was just sitting there and chilling. There were so many people coming to the table asking me questions about the Japanese food. They even wanted to try my soup. It was my own soup. Nice? Vote for Japan! These little creatures, statues, I saw them today at the Mosaic Square, and I found these sculptures really interesting because from one side you can see them as devils, but if you look from the other side they are angels, and I think that's very beautiful and very symbolic. So today was my second school day and I followed the lecture Russia in the Global World. It was very interesting because the lecturer just explained very briefly in one lecture the whole history of, well, Russia in globalization. It was totally not about Europe, of course, because, well, I have learned about the European history and how globalization started within Europe. but now I have gained some knowledge on when Russia entered the process of globalization, which was rather hard. It was because, let me see, they entered the process of globalization in 1990s approximately. But the lecturer told something very interesting. It was a quote from someone, I actually do not remember who it was, but the main problem is and maintains we have to understand each other. And I totally agree with that, because in a lot of cases because the countries have different histories, they have different perceptions. Those perceptions, of course, determine what is important for your country. And if you cannot understand the history of each other's country and the perception of the country, it's very hard to come to an agreement. Well, he also gave us some extra terms for globalization. Alternatives. Let me see. Well, the first alternative is westernization. The second one was American globalization. And the third, I laughed so hard, I was so ashamed, but it was so funny. McDonaldization. Yes, McDonald's. I laughed and the lecturer told me, yes, it's a real term, look it up. I didn't look it up yet because, yeah, I just came back and it was a busy day. Why did you want to study here in Russia?
Oh, actually, I didn't want to study. Wanted to live here for a while. Study is not the main reason I came here, but study is also. I study Russian philology, so
Where?
in Vilnius University. So it's good practice, good patirtis, experience. Yes. To study in the country, which language it is.
Yes.
Yes, it's wrong. But I love St. Petersburg. It is one of my favorite cities. So I'm here for the third time, and I will come more, I guess, if this exchange program will end good.
Yes. Very nice.
Very nice.
How do you like the dorms?
The dorms is fine because I expected a lot worse,
Yes.
much worse. Yeah.
And your roommates?
Oh, my roommates are perfect, and flatmates also.
Yeah.
I found a gopnik from other country,
What's the gobling's name?
Kinga.
In Lithuania, I studied journalism and I chose Russia because our country's relationship is really difficult. And it was interesting to see how Russia prepares their journalists and how do they see the media, because we get all the information from the Western media. We talk about propaganda, and it's just interesting to see what Russia has to say about it. So I just want to compare and see if there's any truth in what they say in their media. It's hard to say if I like St. Petersburg yet, because there are things that I was surprised in a good way and surprised in a bad way. More in a bad way than in a good way, but I think that, for example, the people aren't as friendly as I thought they would be, or the buildings aren't as culturally interesting or excited as I thought they would be, but I'm here only a few weeks, so there's a lot more to see. There's a lot more coming, and I think I will find my place and find my peace with the city. For now, I feel a bit lost, but I think it's just a very temporary phase. that I'm facing. Yeah, but I really enjoy my time here in the dormitory. It's better than I expected, and my roommates are really great. My flatmates are really great. I really enjoy the time I spend with the people that came here, but I also want to find some time to enjoy with myself and find peace with myself in here.
I got a lot of positive reactions on my last video. Someone even sent me a nice short documentary about an advisor of President Putin when he was in the Netherlands. The advisor was in the Netherlands talking to some Dutch specialists. I really appreciate it. If someone has something to show me or thinks you can add something to my videos, please let me know. Week 2 was not per se better than week 1, but I think I've experienced more. I've seen more of the city, of course, because I've been here for a longer time. I've been to school. Yes, school. Well, how is school? School is different here. It's very interesting to see that teachers here, of course, have a very different approach than teachers in my own university in the Netherlands. Well, for example, I was taking notes in one lecture, and at one point I just stopped writing things down because I was thinking like, this ain't right, you know? Like, I don't know how to say it, but I just knew that this was from a certain perspective and another perspective is not bad, but this information was not 100% trustworthy from my point of view. Well, one friend of a friend of a friend showed me the city last Sunday, and it was really nice. I went to some beautiful churches, and today I will start with week number 3 already. And this week I think school will get more interesting because now we're going to go more in depth, and I also have to give some presentations. One about, as I mentioned before, what my country, so the Netherlands, how they see the United States and how they see Russia and how we see the relation between US and Russia. And another presentation for the course Russian Orthodox Church and Russian Foreign Policy, and that's about, well, I have to give a presentation about to which extent religion plays a part in our society and how it influences the way of living. So that will be interesting. And I'm also curious about how other students are going to present their country and how religion influences their society. So, see you next week again. So, there's a crossing. There are cars coming from 4 sides. There has been an accident in the middle. One car is the police car. The other one, who's coming from the other side, are the firemen. The other side is the ambulance, and the last car in the accident is the Prime Minister. So, who is responsible for the accident? Well, the answer is American imperialism is to blame.